All right, so welcome back to another live stream on CTF security, and today is Thursday, and we're going to be working on an ACA 101 CTF titled Ticketastic, and this happens to have two varieties of labs in the ACA 101 CTF, and this is the demo instance and the live instance. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to start with the demo instance, try to navigate through the application in order to detect some vulnerabilities within the Ticketastic demo instance, and then we're going to apply this vulnerability, or we're going to exploit this vulnerability in the live instance version of the Ticketastic web application. So without wasting much of our time, what we need to do is to just get started. And the first thing I want to do is to make sure that I'm able to intercept my web traffic. So I'm going to launch my Bob Suite Pro. And while that is coming up, I also need to ensure that my proxy extension is in line with the Bob Suite settings, which is on the port 8080. So what I need to do is to click on next, and I'm going to start the Bob application. And this is just going to take a few seconds to load up. All right, so we're back. So what we need to do is to start up our challenge, which is the demo instance. This will also take a few seconds. So while we wait, we just enjoy the good music. Okay, so we are back again, and we have the home page of our target web application. And if I zoom in, you can see that this is the home page, and we have welcome to Ticketastic, and we have some hyperlink here, submit a ticket. We also have the admin login area. So we have some little note here which says, before you choose to purchase Ticketastic for your organization, feel free to give this demo instance a try. All functionality is exposed. Simply log in with admin. If you have any problem, put in a ticket on your official instance. Only the knowledge base bot looks at the ticket submitted here. So this is just giving us insight that this application we're dealing with is going to be using a bot to either approve a ticket based on the name of the challenge, but we can't just conclude yet until we try to navigate ourselves within the application. So the first thing we want to do is to just follow the instruction by logging in with the admin. So I'm going to open this on a new tab. Now while this is opening, let's just head back to the Bob Suite and set up our scope. So our scope is going to be this URL here, the E2588, which correspond with the URL of our target. So I'm going to right click, and we're going to add this to scope. And when I go to the proxy HTTP history, I'm just going to filter to show only the in scope item. All right, great. So let's head back and see what we've got. So we're expected to log in with admin. Okay, great. So we have admin home. Create a new user, and you see the URL for the admin dashboard here. We have pending tickets, we have example ticket. Let me just click never. So let's see how this works. So example of ticket, this is your ordinary run of the meal ticket. If any error occurred during process, for instance, if user gives gives a bad link, this will be noted here, and this is going to be a reply, I guess, from the bot. Let's go back. Don't think there's anything much here, but the first thing we need to note here is that we have an ID that identify a ticket. For example, this is ticket ID parameter equals to 1. So possibly we might be able to manipulate this, but we'll just do that in Bob Suite. Now let's go back to the Bob Suite, and you can see the request that was made, which is a get request. Let me just right click and forward this to repeater. So now you see, if you forward the request here, which you have the get request / ticket ID parameter equals to 1, and when you run this, you get presented with the example ticket response here. So what happens if I try to modify this to 2? Okay, so I get an error, which is the traceback type error. So non-type object is not iterable. Okay, so possibly, let's see, what if I use 3? Okay, so we get the same non-type error. Okay. So what I can do is try to investigate what exactly this error is. So I'll just fire up, let's just fire up ChatGPT just to make our task easier. I'm using the free version, by the way. That's taking a while. Okay, start now. All right, so let's just paste in. Let's go get that one more time. I'm just going to copy, and let's head back to our AI. Okay, so we have this error you are encountering is a type error, non-type object is not iterable. Typically indicates that the fetch one method return none. This happens when there are no more rows to fetch from the database. Okay, so here's how you can handle this situation. Check for none before unpacking the issue, but unfortunately this will not be any help to us because we're obviously not trying to fix the issue here. We just want to leverage on this particular error message in order to exploit this application. So what I'm going to do for now is just take notes that we're using the fetch one instruction here, which is going to probably make meaning to us later in the course of the challenge. And we take note of what the type error is. which typically indicates that the fetch tone function which we're using, or the method which we are using, return none, which is empty information or empty data. This happens when there's no more rows to fetch from the database. So we can head back. Let's go back and see. Okay, so if you take note of what we are having here, the application is kind of, or the error message here is kind of revealing some juicy information regarding this application. For example, it says the file main.py probably is trying to search for a file called main.py within the application, which is a Python base, and it says on line 79 in tickets, title, body. So I'm hoping this might be some columns within the database. Reply. So I'm looking forward to lead title, body, and reply is equals to the cur fetch 1. So what we're going to do is, what I can do is try to see, can I supply this as the value for the ticket ID? Let's just see what we get. Okay, we still get the type error. Okay, so what if I used body? What do we get? We got the same kind of error. What if we have the last one, which is reply? Okay, not really. What can we do? 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 Okay, so let's just try to inject something like a. Oh, I think we got another error message here, and this time around we're even having much more juicy information. So what I'm going to do is, let's just open up the Sublime Text temporarily. Okay, let me just close this one, close this one, close this one. All right, good. And let's try to fetch this information here. All right, cool. So I can see that we have our query here, which is executing. We have the select title column, body column, reply from ticket, where ID equals to this, and we are using string interpolation, and we are having request.argument ID. Okay, that sounds interesting. What else? And we have an operational error here which says 1054 unknown column A in the where clause. So probably we got this error because the application is not able to recognize the column named A. So if we're able to supply a column that is recognized by the application, we get a type error. So I guess that is what is really happening in the web application. So sometimes if you're not used to the operational error is a type of error that occurs when SQL operation fails. It can be probably due to various issues such as database connectivity problem, incorrect SQL syntax, just like in the case of what we are having here, or sometimes it can even be issue from the database schema. Now we also have the unknown column A in where clause, which further explain what kind of operational error that we are having, and this actually means that the column A does not exist within the database. So we'll just try to see how we can proceed with this. And I remember when we did the, let me just go back a bit. Let's see. So when we used was that to, what did I use? Okay, body. Maybe one of the valid columns, we got something like this. Let me just grab that, and something here which revealed that we are actually using the fetch one function, Now in SQL query, when we're talking about the fetch one function or the fetch one method, what this does is it returns non-statement, and this could happen if the query is invalid. For example, just like in our case, the table, or probably when the table is invalid, sorry about that, probably when the information we are trying to retrieve is empty, or maybe our query is invalid, or there's no row match that matches the query or conditions that we specified in our query, just like the query that we have right here, we're executing right here. So what we can do is to possibly look for a way that we could probably exploit this kind of SQL injection, since we're having an SQL call. So I'm thinking this application might be vulnerable to an SQL injection, especially due to this string interpolation that we have here. So what I'm going to do is to test for SQL injection, and let's just go back, and I can do this in two ways. I can actually do it manually, or I can also scan this with the Box Suite Professional. So let's just scan. So while this is running in the background, then we do our manual check. So what I can do is, let's see what happens if you supply a code. I think we got something more. So we got the same error we used to. Did we got operational error? No, we did not get that. This is the file for the connection.py. Okay, we got a programming error, and the error says you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual that corresponds to your MariaDB. Oh, so we know what kind of database we are dealing with. That is another great information. So we are dealing with MariaDB, and let's go back. Server version for the right syntax to use at line 1, and that is exactly where we are having issues. That's exactly where we are having issues. So let's see. What can we do? First of all, let's see. Okay, we have an issue already. Let's go to issues activity, and we have an SQL injection already on the /ticket endpoint. And when we go to request, what kind of request was used? You see, the single quote was used, just like the way I also try to check in the manual check for the SQL vulnerability. And if you go to the response, so we got the same programming error, which is exactly what we got earlier. You have an error in your SQL syntax, check this. So that is the POC to just indicate that we have an SQL injection. And we also have another information here which says that input return in response is reflected. So this means that whatever was injected into the ID parameter value gets reflected into the response, which is exactly what is showing here. So we're just going to leverage on this particular SQL injection and see if we can extract information from the database. So let's see. What can we do? Let's go back to repeater, and I'm going to also send this to, let's move it to intruder. No, because I'll need to iterate over some special characters to see if I can get combination of the type of database that we have, which we have already gotten to be MariaDB, possibly the version of the database, possibly the tables inside the database or the database name information. We also need to extract the columns in the database before we'll be able to extract the table informations, that is the data inside the table inside the database. So what we're going to first of all do is to try to get the database name. First thing we could do is let's see, can I modify this? Yeah, I can. So from the intruder, let's go to intruder. I think I forwarded this to intruder. I'm just going to clear everything. But before we even run it on the intruder, let's try it on a repeater. So what I want to do is to check each letter on the, basically what I'm trying to say is I want to keep trying random letters combination and trying to see if any of those letters matches the name of the database. And we're going to see how that is done. First of all, we need just a demo value to indicate that we are trying to access something. So I can use 1, I can use 8, or any value. Let's just go with 7. And I need a space. I can use the or, then I can use the substring. Then we can indicate database. And then we can have opening and the closing bracket. And then we can also have then we have space. Oh, let's just close this. And equals to we're trying to extract the first letter. Okay, sorry about that. It's just supposed to be 1 here. So I want to extract the first letter in the database name and see if A matches that first letter. That is exactly what I'm trying to do here. So I'm just going to highlight this and let's just URL encode it. Where's my URL encode? Convert this to URL. Okay, so let's try and run this. We got an error message. So possibly this is the reason. This is because the letter A does not match the database information, but we can't be too sure. We need to iterate over A, B, C, D until the letter Z, and even include digits in case maybe the database name might start with the digit. So what we can do is to send this to intruder, and from the intruder I'm going to clear this. And why do we have this? Sorry about that. Why do I have double quote? Do I have double quote? It's supposed to be 1. And Let me just work with the without obfuscating the equals to. Okay. Believe everything is fine. Let me just run this. Okay, we got the same error. So I'm going to send this to intruder. And here we are going to iterate this value here. So I'm going to add this to the intruder. And we're going to use the payload. Let's use A to Z. And let's use 0 to 1. We might possibly use capital letter as well if we didn't get anything. But let's just try this first. So I'm going to start. And we're going to monitor the length and the status of the request. Okay, maybe we are doing something wrong. Everything seems to be the same. And let's see what is the response. Programming error. Okay. I'm just going to review the, let's close this. Let's review this one more time. 7 or substring, database, close. We have the comma, +1, comma, +1. Oh, what's this? Sorry about that. I think that was as a result of the equals to that I obfuscated earlier. I think everything looks cool. Let's start attack. Let's check the chat session for a while. Okay. We have something different. The same thing. Still thinking we still have typo error. Let's discard that one. 7 or substring, database, comma 1. What's wrong with me? Let's remove this one. And let's start attack. Oh, great. So we have a different response this time around. But let's see if it makes any sense. Do we have anything different? We have some 303 length, and we have everything to be 200 status code. Okay, so we have one different length, which is the one of payload L. So possibly the database name starts with L. And let's see what the response is. So it responded with ticket deluxe, Ticketastic deluxe, ticket example ticket, and we have, this is your ordinary, which is example of the ticket we've actually viewed previously, which is cool. And when you try to inspect others, we got our usual type error, non-type object is not iterable. So what we're going to do is to find a way we can automate this to loop between the second index, because we just tried the first index number. So we're going to try to loop. Now we are able to tell that the first letter for the database name is L. So what we can do is just indicate database name. So we have the first letter is letter L. So we need to do for the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and that is going to take a hell lot of time. So let's see, is there a way we can actually iterate this? Let's see what we can do. Just a second, I'm trying to check the chat session. Okay, yeah, we're still active. All right, so let's go back to our Bob suite. I'm going to close this one. Okay, so as just like I said before, we're going to iterate towards all the index number to see if we can extract all the letters for the database name. And to do that, we're going to use the same. Let's close this out and to discard this. So we're going to use the same letter here, and then we're going to iterate this value here. Let's make this one. This is index, the first index. So what I'm going to do is what can I do? Let's add this. And let's just clear everything first, then let's add this first and add this as a second value. All right, cool. And for the attack type, I'll use cluster bomb for the attack type. And for the payload, for the first payload, which is going to be index, I'm just going to use numbers. So this is from number 1 to 9. So we're hoping probably the value is going to be more than from the range of 0 to 9. Let me just do away with 0. I'm going to remove that. So it's going to be more than 1 to 9. So I'm going to add 10. I'm also going to add 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So I guess we'll just stop there. So we have 17 different payload from the range of 1 to 17 for the index number of the database name. Let's go to payload 2. Oh, what's that? Am I configuring the wrong one? Oh, sorry about that. I was busy configuring the wrong request. So let's just clear this one. And for the payload 1, as usual, I'm going to add within the range of I think I can specify numbers here. Let's go with from number 1 to 17 with the step of 1, okay, which is practically the same thing we just did. And for payload number 2, we're going to use alphabet as usual. So let's load our alphabet A to Z, small letter, and we're going to also load the 0 to 9. So possibly the database name might contain digits. So we can also use capital letter, but just for the purpose of this challenge, I'm just going to be using lowercase alphabet. So we have total number of I beg your pardon, 612 requests that is going to be sent. And let's just confirm our payload positions if they are okay, and then we can start our attack. Okay, we have random requests being sent, and I already have variations in the length of the requests that response that we're getting. Okay, we have about 50% done already, about 75% done already, and the fuzzing is almost over. We have 500 and okay, yeah, we're finished. So what we're going to do now is to sort. First of all, I want to sort the payload 1, and want to also sort by payload 2. But let me first of all see what we got at the top. Okay, yeah, great. So we have this one, 515, which is exactly our valid length in the previous example we did. And then what we can do is to sort. You can see that the order in which the payload, so this was the first one we did, which gave us the letter L, but the arrangement is not in the ascending order, so we just needed to sort this. And when you sort this, make sure that the payload 1 is sorted, and as well as the length. Let me see. Yes, so you can see that we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, okay, 6. So we have, this is the payload name. Level 7 is actually the, I beg your pardon, not the payload name, the database name here, because when it iterates on the first instance, it got L. It iterates the second index number for the database name, it got E. The next one V, the next one E, the next one L, the last one 7. And you can see that these ones are just random because it was not able to extract any other alphabet. So we know now that our database name is level 7. So what we're going to do is to just append this here. So database name is level 7. Okay, great. So we got the database name. We need other informations like table names or tables that exist within that database. And that is what we're going to be trying to extract next. So in order to do this, I can use, let's say, can I get a schema? Let me just get one of this database syntax from my notes. Let me just drop it here. So we're going to use substring just like the way we used earlier. We're going to select the table name from information schema.tables with a limit of 1. We also, this limit of 1 just indicate that we're going to be selecting one row. We also want to use this as the index number, and this is going to be the value that we're going to be changing and iterating across. So let's see how we can make use of this. Now, something about this is that we need an offset, because if we try to iterate for each one, just a single line with this limit 1 will be generated from the table, and that is not exactly what we want. We want to be able to extract all the database name, because we might have 10 database within this application. But if we're using this particular payload here, we would be able to extract just one table in the database. So we can actually try to use offset. Do I have something on offset? Trying to see if I have something on offset. Okay. Yeah. extracting, this one is extracting table with offset value. So we have our offset value here to be 1, and here we're going to embed our character in it. And do we possibly need something else? Not really. So let's start from the offset 0, and let's see what we can do. Let me just copy this one and head to our payload here. So I'm going to replace this or substring should have a plus here, and also here, and also here. Cool. All right. What else do we need? We also need to use this one as the character. So what I'm going to do is to add this. No, Control Z. Let's use offset as 1. Add. Then we're going to use this as the second payload, and we're going to use character as the third payload. Or instead of having issues, we could as well just do this one after the other. So for the first table, we can just explicitly define the offsets with a value of 0. So offset should be 0. Then we're going to iterate the first letter, then second letter, third letter for the tables. And then let's see what we can do. Let's forward this. Oh my God, I didn't set up some things. Sorry about that. I shouldn't have continued in the background. But anyway, let's set our payload. So for the first one, which is actually correct, and let's see for the second payload, should be the same thing as well. So this is actually okay. So let's just run it and see. So we're getting a response already. We're just going to wait for all the response to complete, then we're going to check and sort it out just like the way we did in the first instance. About 75% fuzzing done, ready. Finished. So first of all, I want to sort by length. Okay, I want to sort by length, and also I want to sort by payload 1, which is the index numbers. Let's take this up. What's happening? Okay, yeah. So we have the first one, the 8, the 9, the second. Doesn't make any sense. I don't think so. Can I sort this? Can't I sort this out? Okay, 1, 2, 3 continuously. Okay, not really. We're just going to stick with this. So let's go in here. So for offset 1, offset 0, we have a table name called Agile and PSU. Okay, so let's try for the second one. So let's go back and change this from 0 to, let me just close this card. Change this from 0 to 1 and start. Okay, so I'm going to sort by payload 1. Start sorted. That isn't making any sense. That isn't making any sense. I'm sure these are all correct letters, but the order is kind of confusing. I hope I'm sorting the right one. Okay. Okay, just to make it easy, can I filter out okay, I can filter out the response. Let's just look for this request that has 303 and look for something we can use to filter out. So let's go with this type error. So what I'm going to do is to put this here and do a negative search against this type error, so that we'll be left with just the requests that are valid. Okay, so let's try to sort that again. That is what I should have done before. So sorry about that, guys. So the name of this one, I can just do that for the other one if I want to just fix the issue. As for this one, I'm sure this one also has that issue. So the name here is applicable rows. Yes, I think that's the name of this particular table. So if I discard this and change this to 0 once more and we run, do a negative search against the type error, check the chat session. Okay, we're still streaming. Okay, so we're done. So this is what we got, 1-8, which is not in the right order, so we can sort it out. Aha, this was the issue. I'm so embarrassed right now. So we can use all plugins. That was it. Applicable rows. That was for the offsets. Let me just remove this one. So this is for the 0. Let's go for the next. You can as well just write a Python script to do this, but I will probably not do that in this video. Let's see. Let's cut this. So we can change this to 2 and start attack. As usual, I'm sure we all understood what is happening here. So what I'm just doing is changing the offset. So if you're going to write a script, you can as well just get one script and then increment the offset value. And this is just going to extract all the tables within the database. Okay. So let's sort. We have this one to be characters. Okay, let's just put it down. This one is characters. ETS. Okay. I think the issue was we have more than 17. Yeah. I should have created more space for that. So what we're going to do now is let's just discard this one. And from the payload section for payload 1, we can have 1 to, let's say, 25. And then we start, and let's see what we're going to get this time around. Okay, and as usual, okay, and let's sort it in ascending order. Okay, now we have the full one. So the name is character set. That's the name of the table. Character set. So which is everything, which is 1, 2, 3 up to 14. Okay, so we actually got the full length in the previous attempt that we did. So now if we continue to extract this might take a lot of our time depending on how many tables that we have in that particular database. So what we're going to do is, since we are after getting access to users' accounts on this particular web application, what we can do is to actually check if the users table exists inside the web application. And to do that is quite easy. So what I'm going to do is let me just get syntax out instead of having to type that out from my note. Let's see, and let's expand this one. So we can check if database contain the table name users. So let's just drop the payload in here. So what we can do is to use the counts. We can have a detailed explanation of what this is going to do. see, do we have something? Okay, the query you provided, check if a table name users exist in the database. Here's a breakdown. So we have the select count from information schema.tables. This part retrieve the total number of table with a specific name. Now, where table name equals to users, this condition filter the result to only include the table named users, which is exactly what we want to do. Then the greater than 0 at the end checks if the count is greater than 0, indicating that if the table exists. So if there's no table, we expect not to get any response. If you want to use this in your code, blah 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 blah, so let's just ignore that and move ahead to our payload. So to use this particular payload, I'm just going to go to the intruder. You can use the same payload, and let's just put it in here. But we might need to obfuscate some parts. Starting from here, Ctrl U, and let's see. We need to set anything here? Not really. Let's see. This is just going to be one response. You can as well do this on the on repeater. So what I can do is move to the position, send this to repeater. Let's adjust this a bit. Okay, so that we can have all our payload on the line. So we have the same payload which we have previously, and let's follow this. Let's see. So we got a reply. So you can see that we got a 200. Okay, and the response code should be 512. Not the response code, sorry, the length of the response should be around 51 something. Let's see, there used to be a way to check that. Okay, yeah, 515 bytes, which is exactly what we have here. So let's say we want to check for something that does not exist. If I change this to R007, let's see if R007 table exists in the database, and I send this, we're obviously going to get our usual error message. So this is an indication that we have the users table inside the database because we got the full response here. So now that we know that that exists, the next thing we're going to do is to extract this table. Let's see how we can do that. First thing we want to do is extract the column. Sorry about that. First thing we want to do if we want to extract the table information is to first of all extract the column information, because we're going to call each data with their column number or column names. So what we can do is to have another payload. Let's see, something very similar. Let me just put hash here just to indicate the heading. So what we want to do here is we want to extract columns, and we want to extract the column names from information schema where table name equals to users, which is what we're looking for. We have a limit of 1, we have offset value, so we need to indicate our offset value, and we need to indicate our position value, and as well as value for the that we want to iterate against, which is the alphabetical value. So let's just grab this, and since we're iterating once again, we need to do this with the intruder. Let's go back to this part here. Oh, this is repeater. So we can do this through the intruder. I'm going to paste this here. let's just have our usual 7 or 7 plus or okay. Oh, what do we have here? What do we have here? What do we have here? What do we have? Column names. So we need to change our offset. We need to change the offset. Add position, add, and our value for our iteration also add. So we have 3 different positions here. So for first position, since it's an offset, 1 to 25 will do. For the second position here, we do not need alphabet. So what we need is also the same value. So we're going to load in, let's load in numbers. How can we load that? No, let's just this one, 1 to 25 for the step of 1. Then for the last one here, we need A to Z, and we need 0 to 9, which is estimate of 22,500. And let's get to work. Hopefully we're doing the right thing. So this is offset, this is a position, and this is the actual payload. I can as well let's go touch. What did I do here? I touch anything here. Okay, I think I was using the fourth menu here. Okay. Okay. Let's filter out unwanted parts, the unwanted parts. This is really taking a while. Oh, okay. It looks like we had a network issue, but I believe everything is fine now. Okay. So while we wait, let's just continue listening to good music. Let's just pause this and see if we are on the right track. Do we have any response yet? Not really. Okay. Not matching. Let's see. Revert changes. Let's do this for now. So I've been having 30302. Let's see what kind of request we're making. Oh, that is such a waste of time. That is such a waste of time. Recall. We connected back. Yeah, we're connected back. God. Make a silly mistake. I made a silly mistake. Let's see. Just close this. No. Before that, can we grab this? Copy. Okay, so sorry, I had to disconnect the live. Someone was actually something was actually interrupting the network. So what the problem that we had before was the space in between the encoding that we did, the URL encoding that we did for the value for the ID and the OR, which we used to check for the SQL injection. So what we can do now is just maintain the same payload and try to start our attack. so it should be more positive than before. So once it's 1000, I'm just going to pause and see if we have differences in the length and how the request is being sent. Pause. Let's filter for the type error. Okay, yeah, great. So we are doing absolutely well. Absolutely well. Let's see what we have. Are we iterating the offset? Let's check that again. Discard. Am I iterating the offset? No. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. So let's just go with offset 1. And then we just iterate the position and the alphabet. So for payload, we just have payload 1 and payload 2. And let's see what those payloads are. Yes, this is for payload 2, payload 1. So this is wrong. We need to change payload 2 to from list to simple list, and then we can insert A to Z and as well insert 0 to 9 and start attack. Okay, so we have something. I'm just going to sort this out. So we have username. So we're able to extract username. So there's a column called username, and let's go for the second offset. Go for the second offset. Let's close this one. Discard. So we're going to go with second offset. What we'll do now, go up to 19.